I find myself in a crowd of people, in a large square surrounded by white stone buildings. My friends and I are waiting for the leader to make a speech. It seems to be an age of waiting. We talk casually about what the announcement might be about. Everyone looks to be about 25 to 30 and are beautifully dressed in vibrant flowing robes. Feels a bit like an episode of Top Model. They're all so beautiful. No one is excessively masculine or feminine looking, but it's still easy to see who are the males and females. Then he arrives. Uran. He is tall, dark-skinned, with penetrating blue eyes and rich red hair. He is standing at the foot of a statue of himself in a seated position. He places a speaking device on his chin and takes a deep breath. My dear people, I love you all. I removed aging and death from you. You are immortal. Now I declare, from this day forth, a person may only have one child. Our population will continue to grow, but it will be at a very slow pace. Thank you all for your understanding. The speech only lasted, a minute? But in that time, he said all that was needed to be said, or at least all he wanted to say. I looked around at everyone who stood in stunned silence, each person with a dozen questions and a consistently dazed look across their face. It was at least a further minute before anyone uttered a sound, by which time he was gone. Uran, the leader, the scientist, the genius, my brother, and the person who made this all possible had just told everyone that since they were no longer persecuted by the ravages of time, otherwise known as aging, that everyone would henceforth be limited to one child in their lifetime. A lifetime now being an unknown span. Uran was already 372, and many of the others were a similar age. But having children who also did not grow old and die, who then had more children, etc., had meant that in the short time of 350 years, the population had exponentially exploded. Currently, it was not unmanageable, but if something were not done, population would soon be a serious problem. My heavily pregnant friend, Haya, was by my side. Haya stroked her bump and shrugged quietly to herself. To the onlooker, she might be thinking, oh well, one more child before it all changes. Haya, however, was Aaron's life partner, and so when I asked her about it, she just laughed and said, I wish he would talk to me about this sort of thing. Haya had already had 6 children, all now adult, and so the one due shortly was about to be the last and 7th. Come on, she said, smiling, let's go find him. And as the craftsmen arrived to carve the new rule into the giant obelisk of Uran, the dream faded.